Well, folks, we got some more ridiculous news. Although this news is not exactly, or shall I say, not at all, about politics. Or shall I say politicians, but politics has a lot to do with it. And the latest news is from right there in Sanford, Florida. Yes, the infamous Sanford, Florida, where George Zimmerman got away scot-free for murdering Trayvon Marton. You see, a few nights ago, or shall I say a day or two ago, George Zimmerman was punched in the mouth. I mean, this big guy, I, I, he was in Gators Riverside Bar and Grill in Sanford, to where the story goes. This is not going to be long. Bragging about he went to at my one source said of he liked the guy racist tattoos and went up to him and was, telling how he admired his Confederate flag. This is what one source said. You have several sources that saying giving conflicting reports, but they all agree one thing: George Zimmerman got punched in the mouth, in the face. And he was one guy went over. He said, "Well, I admire your tattoos, and talking about the flag. And I'm the man. Remember me? I'm George Zimmerman, the one who killed Trayvon Marton." And so one guy said, "Excellent. Would you please get out of here?" He told him, "I'm George Zimmerman. I'm the one who killed Trayvon Marton." And it's supposed to be a big guy. Walked over to him and said, "Is that something to brag about?" And he got away scot-free with murdering a 17-year-old. And before you know it, pow! Bam! Right in George Zimmerman's mouth. I mean, he bam! Everybody was like, what's going on? I mean, you reap what you sow. Remember I told you years ago, the guy who owned the bar and grill, some gentleman named Winters, said everywhere this guy goes, he's nothing but trouble. He's just caused a lot of controversy. And I told you guys a good while back that this guy is not worth a dime. That's cold-blooded murder, and we know his father's a judge, and we know that George Zimmerman's mixed, but you get what you ask for. Now, I don't like violence. I detest violence. But you reap what you sow. From the time he jumped on his girlfriend to the time he caused all that problem with that guy shot at his behind, he asked for it. So it took 4. He called. Now get this. He called 911. So he was bleeding. And that guy said it took 4 or 5 guys. Said send 3 or 4 policemen because this guy he's really after me. Well, you asked for it. If that be the case, which that sounds like you, because he's always doing something ridiculous and disgusting and causing a lot of problems. Now he's bragging about killing this 17-year-old years later. You see how this guy was? You see? And the thing, this is the same George Zimmerman. After everybody heard that this guy you know how much money that people were sending this guy all over? You understand what I mean? How disgraceful, how despicable and despisable. You see what I mean? Nobody even cared. It was a 17-year-old innocent. Let me tell you something. First of all, look, I'm from the city. My first neighbors were not black. I come from a 2-parent household. All my family, both grandparents, all aunts and uncles on both sides, were hard-working people all their life. I had World War II heroes in my family. This comes from a lot of corrupt politicians letting people like this clown get away with it. Just cold-blooded murder. You reap what you sow. This country needs God right now. Repent. I was just listening to that about a couple of hours ago. Everything that this country was supposedly stood for, well, everything is out in the open now. Just crony capitalism. That's all America is, full with racists. Not all. You have a lot of people out there marching for justice. That only thing gives you hope. I mean, look what's going on out there. But getting back to George Zimmerman, this is really a sick character. He's so full of himself, he asked for it. I wonder if anybody taking up donations for the guy that punched him in the face. Just like they took up donations for George Zimmerman. And everybody said all kind of things about, oh, you this, oh, you that, you this, that. George Zimmerman is no good. I told you, he's nothing but trouble. Even the own lawyers that defended him don't want anything to do with him. Nothing. Just a cold-blooded murderer. How sick can you get? Anyway, to finish the story, because I said I wouldn't be long. I wasn't even going to do this. This was something that just popped up. George Zimmerman asked for it, and he got it. He called and said, send 3 or 4 policemen. I'm bleeding from he was bleeding from wherever the guy was. Because they said they had the bar and the staff members at the bar, the workers had to break it up. It took 4 or 5 men to hold this big guy. You see, everybody, just because they're white, are not racist. Most white people are not racist. I don't care what you believe. Just not everybody's just racist and hateful. I don't care if 17-year-old is a child. You're a teenager, but you're not grown. You should hear all the reports that's coming out about that. I'm just sad to see that there's a young kid dead on account of this jackass who was told not to go out there to mess with Trayvon in the first place. He was going to his dad's place. But they didn't know that. But I'm sorry that all this happened. But George Zimmerman reaped what he sowed. But you see, he just keep going. And remember, he just sold a gun and was bragging about that what the gun he used to kill Trayvon Marton with. Not too long ago, it was up for, they stopped the sale of it, but somebody, they said, bought it afterwards. But I wonder, somebody asked me, they said, are they taking up a collection for the guy? Because they can't find him. He got on his Harley Davidson and left. And from all reports, the guy wasn't black. Now ain't that a kick in the pants? He just told George Zimmerman, oh, so you bragging about killing an unarmed 17-year-old. You bragging, huh? Bam! Right in the face. I'm sorry for the violence. Like I said, I detest violence, but you reap what you sow. Folks, we need prayer. A lot of times these kind of things just go on until it's totally stopped or it gets worse. God bless, folks. Pray for our country because we really know it. We really need it. Going to hell in the handbag. God bless.